2288, and I went out to my garden yesterday and I looked at my cushaw, and look, the bugs were eating it up. So I picked it and I'm gonna process it. So what I'm gonna do with all of this, well, two of them were bad. I already had two in the refrigerator. Actually, look at that. So you need to watch your vegetable. I need to go and get some diatomaceous earth because they're attacking my stuff. They're attacking my vegetables that I worked hard on. Just coming and harvesting it away from me. It's a good thing I moved it, right? They were eating it. Look at that. This one also, I just cut that away. This one was rotten somehow. I don't know. Maybe I don't water at night anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore because that might be the problem. It's a bunch of roly-polies on it. They were just yamming it down. So anyway, I picked it. I killed them off and picked it. Initially, I was going to give it, try to give this to the chickens. But I was like, you know what? Just cut off the bad part, Jamaica, and process it. So that's what I did. That's what I'm going to do. It's still good. Look at it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just cut the part they were on off. Don't want that. I wasn't ready to pick it. See? Look at it. That's the difference. So hopefully this is okay. It's a definite change in color. But you do the best you can, right? Do your best, forget the rest. Cut this off. See that? That's orange. This one was white. Maybe that's I don't know. No, that's gotta be cushaw. Maybe it's a different type. But I only planted the one from Baker Creek, so I don't know. So what we're gonna do is we're going to peel them all off, get the seeds out, and I'm going to blanch them for 2 minutes, and then we're gonna pressure cook them. So after I get all these peeled up, I'll show you how I'm gonna dice them, get the seeds out, and we'll go on from there. I know it's a little dark in here. I'll cut on some more lights. But we are going to process the cushaw, and we're gonna process some butternut squash. So I'm filling up my canner. I know it's summertime, but there are people who do not have any electricity right now. And if you don't have electricity in the summertime, guess what? Your food goes bad. I've already had that happen to me once. A whole freezer full of food go bad. I lost like $1,000, maybe more, because it was full of meat. And I don't want that to happen again. I still have freezers that have stuff in it, but it's, trying to keep up. So anyway, I've said enough. Do what you want. You can put it in your freezer, but remember, there are thousands of people right now with no electricity. So I'm gonna finish peeling these off, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to dice them. Just a second. All right, so I have all of them peeled, and I have a fly problem apparently. I got my knife. You better watch out. So I had some butternut squash that I cut up also. Let me pull you down a little bit so you can see my board. I have some butternut squash, so we're gonna process that. We need to blanch these squash at least 2 minutes, and then we can go ahead and pressure can them. So I'm gonna chop them up. I tied up my hair. I still get lint on this stuff. I'm gonna open that up. This is a baby one. You see there's seeds in there. We're gonna take the seeds out. I need a small pan. Don't talk about me. I got a million pan here, but take the seeds out. I don't believe in wasting anything. We do not waste food here, especially when there are things going on with the vegetables and people not being able to harvest in time. So everything's gonna go up. I'm not throwing out anything. Even if the bugs bite it, I'm gonna cut that piece off, and I'm gonna process it anyway. It's just my trash. It's my trash cake pan. I don't know about you, but I was raised where we saved ketchup packets sometimes because we didn't have money to buy the ketchup. We put them in our refrigerator. I think my mom still does that. If she goes and goes to McDonald's, I don't think she goes to McDonald's anymore, but if she goes out to eat and they give her extra ketchup, now I'm not saying she takes a bunch of them, but if she has some extra ones, she'll put them in her purse, or some salt and pepper, because you never know if you go somewhere or somebody don't season their food. You can sneak a little salt and pepper in there. But yeah, I for a long time I would save ketchup and mustard packets. When I was in the military, if I would eat out and I had some extra ketchup and mustard packets, I'd save them. At work here in Austin, when I was working for the city of Austin, we would save ketchup. We would save condiment packets all the time. And there'd be a lot of times you find people in there, like someone looking for a packet of ketchup or a packet of salt and pepper or something. And, you know, those things came in handy. So waste not, want not. that's what one of the sayings my family used to say. Waste not, want not, or have you, don't want, and wanty, don't have. So I don't want to be wanty. I'd rather be have you, don't want. So I'm just getting all this stuff out. I'm going to cut it smaller in a second. I'm just going to get the top off and any peel that I forgot or that I did the best I could with this peeler. I believe I don't think this is the right peeler, but I can't find my other one. I might have thrown it out or gave it to Goodwill. I do stuff like that. Now I have this fancy dancy one that's slicing me up every now and then. Gotta be careful with this one. You don't have any fingernails or any fingers. Okay, this is trash. And that's the stuff I'm throwing in this bowl. I don't just throw it in the trash anymore. I throw it into my garden. In my front garden, like where my rose bushes is. Ooh, my rose bushes are plural, Miss Jamaica. Gosh, getting how to speak proper English. Not that you ever did, but the little bit you knew you did know, you messing it up. Oh, this is rotten. Cut that off. There we go. That's good. I'm just gonna cut that bottom piece off. I don't like the way that looks. If you don't like the way it looks, cut it off, but take the rest. Take what you can. Whatever's good, cook it up. Don't eat rotten food though. Look rotten, cut it off or throw it out. If all of it is no good. But this is the way food looks when you don't use any pesticides. I am gonna go get some Diet Nation Earth though, because those roly-polies, they are, I mean, just like the snails. I had to go and get something for the snails. Now it's the roly-polies. And the thing is, it's been very dry here. Very dry, but I guess the roly-polies are looking for water, and I water my garden, so they all moseyed on over there where it was nice and moist. It's like, well, she's gonna come out here and wet it down at least once a day. They were yamming down my food. I went to move a kusha or just look at it because it was so pretty, right? Proud of what I was doing. And they had ate a big old hole in it. They ate a hole in it. The nerve. And was yamming it down. There's little holes all over. They were still there. They were taking up residence. It's on the bottom end. So you need to move your vegetables around and inspect them because the bugs, you might have to just harvest it early because the bugs may be trying to steal what you work for. And, you out there watering and slaving over these gardens because it's hot out there. It's going to be hot in here in a minute, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it to preserve this I prefer to preserve without refrigeration. Because, I must have PTSD from my freezer malfunctioning. That was a bad experience. That was a horrible day. But the next day was beautiful because you know what? You can always recover. I'm still here and I just bounced back. You just have to let it go and I couldn't give it to anyone, not my dogs, no one. I just had to throw it in the trash. It was rotten meat and vegetables. So that was a garbage can. We had the big garbage cans. I washed my hands full of food, full of rotten food. I have my water over here boiling. Trying to bring it to a boil, and I'm just gonna cut these into chunks. I'm gonna keep the butternut squash separate from the kusha, but I'm gonna cook it at the same time. So this is what I have. Woohoo! Look at that! Kusha, butternut, I don't know what this was, but it looked like it was supposed to be kusha, but I don't know. It's a squash. So we're gonna blanch this for 2 minutes. Make sure I don't burn myself. Woo! Shoot! Sugar foot. My mom used to say that. If I can get it all in there. Pot is getting higher and higher. Was it, we're gonna have a funky good time. We're gonna have a funky good time. We're gonna take it high. I almost ran out of breath. Jesus Christ. How did he hold his breath that long? Don't ya, don't ya. Timer 2:00 time. I got seeds galore in this thing. What's up with you, Jamaica? You ain't doing your job. That's a Jamaican saying too. Don't you suck your teeth at me? Or teeth at me. I used to tease my mom because thief and teeth sound the same thing. Sound like the same thing when she said it. So I used to make fun of her. Mommy, say teeth. Say teeth. She said teeth. And I said, say thief. She said teeth. I said, okay, mama. She should have beat me. That was fresh. That was being fresh. Let me wash my hand. All right, so being fresh, disrespectful. She let me get away with that one. Nothing else, though. 2 minutes. How am I going to get this out? That is the question. How am I going to get it out? Make it work, America. Man, gotta think better on your feet. Got 30 seconds. Start taking them out. I don't know. This is going to be a lot of jars. That's fine with me, though. I wish I had bought some of the bigger jars now, because I didn't cut these small, but oh well. I just have the pints from a million jar. I'm back. Just getting the butternut squash out, and it's been 2 minutes. Just getting the last little bit out. Okay. So we're done with this part. We're gonna go on and we're gonna put them in jars and we're gonna put them in the pressure canner. So I'll get them in the jars and then we'll put the water and the liquid on. I'll bring you back when I have them all in jars, and then we'll get the liquid in and we'll put them in the canner and we'll start the canning process. I don't want this video to be super long. Canning is difficult enough, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna can them. I guess you could watch another video where they're canned, you know, they're canned, but I'm just gonna bring you snippets so that you don't have to sit through like an hour and a half of canning. You have to can these vegetables for a minimum of 55 minutes. That means after you pressurize the canner and everything. 55 minutes over the level of 10. So I'm gonna be here for a while canning this stuff. I'll see you in a sec. You don't need to see me, but I'm here. All right, I got my, it's the 4th of July. You're gonna hear a bunch of fireworks. I didn't go anywhere because my dogs. Anyway, we have the fireworks here. I'm glad I watered my lawn because Texas has not rained for over a month and my neighbors are blowing up firecrackers. Thank God I have a garden around my house, so my property is wet. I don't know about everybody else's though. So we have our cans done here. I have everything in here. I'm gonna wipe the jar off, right? I'm gonna wipe it off with some vinegar. I've washed the jars and I've filled them with water all the way up to the brim. Take my spoon and make sure all the bubbles are out of here. Move it around. Move it around with my spoon to make sure there's no bubbles and make sure this thing is submerged below the line. Wipe it off with my vinegar rag. Cover it. Make sure you have one lid because apparently I have 2 or 3 of them here. That's funny. Fingertip tight. There we go. 1 jar. Yay, Jamaica, yay! I wanted to go out to the fireworks, but I can't. My dogs will tear up my house. Or if I put them outside, they'll be in the street somewhere. When I get back, they won't be on the property. So I couldn't go out to the country because that's worse. My neighbors will take care of that though. Here we go. Ain't gonna be no fireworks. If there's fireworks, there's gonna be some extra fireworks. Some real ammo going off. Because them people, they don't want their property to be burnt down. There's too much woods out there. So, we're putting our lids on. And I'll be back with you when I have all the stuff in there, okay? We're just gonna debubble it, like I said. Put the spoon in there, debubble it, cover with the band, fingertip tip tight, and put it in the canner. I'll be right back. One thing I forgot to say is to make sure you put your rack on the bottom, and then when you put your second layer on, if you have a second layer, put another rack on there, okay? Time to close the lid. Make sure you have your seal. Check to make sure this thing, the top, the pop top, the sealer was working. Make sure you have your security, if you have a Presto. Make sure your security ring is on there, your weight, and that's all you need for now. So we're gonna put this in here, we're gonna close our lid, okay? Now that I have my lid on, I'm gonna turn my fire on high, and I'm gonna wait for this thing right here on the Presto to pop up and for there to be a steady stream coming out there. See you then. So our pop top has come up. We need to wait 10 minutes before we do anything else. This thing has to pressurize for 10 minutes before we go on to the next step. See you then. Remember, on your Presto, it's gonna say top. This button is gonna pop up, okay? Okay, our timer has went off for our 10 minutes. I'm gonna turn that off. And we're gonna take our handy dandy weight, do not lose this thing, and we're gonna put it on top of the pressure canner. Now that that is on there, we're gonna wait for our dial to get to 10. And once it gets to 10 or just above 10, we are gonna start our timer for 55 minutes. So I'm gonna turn this down a little bit and I'll see you guys when I get to around, well, over 10, okay? The pressure gauge is just past 10. I'm gonna set the timer for 55 minutes, and this is where we're starting to seal our jars and get our cans sealed. Take 55 minutes for squash, okay? I'll see you in 55. Make sure that your dial does not fall below 10. Do not let it fall below 10. If it does, you have to start over. You have to start the process completely over from the very, not from the very first step, but you have to start the canning process over, okay? So don't let it get down to that caution either. You have to watch this canner for the next 55 minutes. Just sit there and make sure you keep on looking at this thing and make sure that it does not fall below 10 and that it doesn't go higher than it should, okay? Mainly, do not let it fall below 10 and do not let it get to that caution. You'll know because this thing will start jiggling. How do I know? Well, you know, experience is the best teacher, right? That's all I have to say. I'm not telling you anything else. See you 55. And it's the next day. I got tired, so I just shut it down. I turned the fire off. I left the cap on. And this thing is depressed now because this thing has been sitting in here overnight. and I just didn't mess with it. So the first thing you're gonna do, pretend that this was last night at 11:11 when I stopped. I shut it down. I just turned the fire off. You can leave the canner just like that. So if you are at that stage where everything's done and your timer, all your timers are done, you just make sure you turn your fire off and you just let this thing sit. So I'll take this cap off, right? Take that off. There will be steam that comes out of there sometimes if you do it immediately after the thing depresses. You're gonna wait 10 minutes after you take your weight off, and put the weight somewhere you can find it. Don't lose your weight, because then you have to wait for Amazon to send you another one or for Presto to send you another one. It's just not worth it. Keep track of your weight. When you're not using this thing, put all of your canning material inside the canner. But I digress. So our gauge is down to 0, as you can see. Down to 0. This is depressed. I wouldn't be touching this thing if it was hot. Okay? So then you take the lid, right? Make sure you get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Move all of these distractions out of your way. You take the lid, turn it counterclockwise, lift it up, and walk away. Make sure none of that water gets on your food either, because there's going to be a lot of steam in there. Do not put your cans directly on your countertop. Let me wipe this thing off. Do not put your cans directly on your countertop. I don't know what they put here, but it's sticky. Now I'm the only one in here to clean. All right. All right, so I'm gonna move you over and let you see what I'm gonna do. So I have my cutting board here. You do not want to put your cans directly on the countertop. Where's that towel that I use? I just had it a second ago. Here it is. This is my canning towel. I do not use this towel because I just don't like it. Somebody else, no. This is the canning towel for sure. So if you don't have a board, use a towel. Make sure you have a towel that's big enough to cover the surface that you want, or put it on wood. Wood is not going to be as cold as your countertop. You do not want to put a hot jar on a cold counter because it'll crack, or it might crack. I'm not going to say that it will crack. So here's the board. I like the board better because I can move around, but this is my canning towel. That's what I use it for. I know it looks like a personal towel, but I don't like this towel. I don't like this towel for anything except canning. We'll put it on this board because I'm going to slide it back over so I can have counter space. Now, get your tool, your utensils. You're going to get a packet. You buy a box, and it's going to have the debubbler. It's going to have this, and it's going to have this. This is the funnel where you put the stuff to make sure that the rim of your jar doesn't get all messy. And this is how you pick your cans up. Move it closer so you can see what I'm doing. So you take this thing, you open it. There are 2 slots here. It latches onto the jar, right? And it picks them up. Pick them straight up. Put them on a neutral surface, a surface that is not cold. I'm gonna do it again. This thing latches onto the bottle like that. Make sure you have a good hold on it. You don't want to drop your bottle. Put it down. There we go. Ooh, I smell the sage. I just put a little bit of sage in there and it smells delicious. Delicious. I'll move it back because I can't use the board while I have you on here. Moving right along. So I think I did 11. No, I did more than 12 jars. Preserve your food. Do not go through all that trouble of, growing this stuff and let the bugs have it. You work for it, you harvest it, and you preserve it as soon as possible. Don't let it rot in the refrigerator. With squash, you have some time because squash stores well. Don't touch your rack either. This thing is going to be hot. Grab it with your tool, move it out of the way. Squash lasts a long time, but still, everything goes bad after a while. I did an experiment with some with some pumpkins, and pumpkins, they stored about 5-6 months. But you know, even everything goes bad after a while. You're better off canning this, because these can stay in here for years. Make sure you sniff it, do the sniff taste test. But canned stuff does not go bad, and this does not have to be refrigerated. Neither do, oh, I got my head cut off. Neither do pumpkins or you know, squash, but they only last a couple of months. They last longer. God, I don't have enough room. They last longer than some other things would, but everything goes bad that does not get preserved correctly. With these jars, right? Once I get them all out, you do not touch these jars for the next 24 hours. Leave them where they stay. You're gonna hear them start clicking. You're gonna start popping. That means they're sealing. Don't touch it. 24 hours. I'm gonna leave this stuff on this thing. The reason why I put it here is because I want to slide it over. Move this, get a good grip on this before I lose my jars. Y'all see me boo-hoo after I did all that work. The reason why I put it on this thing is because I want to slide it over without disturbing the jar. So this thing is gonna go over here in the corner of my countertop for the next 24 hours. Then I'm gonna remove the bands and I'm gonna put them in a dark, cool place. I think at the end of summer, I'm gonna show you all the things I preserved, because I have stuff that I don't have. I mean, I have so much stuff preserved that I don't have to touch this until maybe winter. So this is Jamerica 5288. Thank you guys for being with me. This is my preservation of squash that the bugs try to take from me, because, and I am, as I said, I am not going to do all that work and let something else come and take it away if I can do something about it. I had a chance, the opportunity to save some of this stuff, and that's what I did. You know, if you are growing organic stuff, the bugs are going to get on it. Wash it off, cut that bad part off, make sure they didn't get in this part that you're going to eat, and go ahead and preserve it. Either, you know, freeze it or dry it or can it or pickle it. Do what you got to do to save it. We're working hard to do this stuff. It is hot out there, and digging in that dirt is no joke. So I'm going to get off my little soapbox. This is Jamerica 5288. I thank you guys for being with me. Stay blessed. Make sure you take care of yourself and take care of each other. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.